Hi. Welcome to Wrestling with Tim, episode 20. I'm having a day. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Morning.
Good morning.
So how are you
Doing all right.
guys? Everyone okay?
Doing
Everyone
all
okay?
right. Doing okay.
Great.
How's your morning, Tim?
You know, it hasn't been bad necessarily. It's just that, be careful what I say here. I have a lot of work I have to do, and I've been doing work all this morning, and then I paused for this, and then I have to go do more work, and then I eventually have to let this bird out of the cage and give him a couple hours to, like, be free, kind of. And then I just have I really have a lot to do. I've been on my computer since like 6 o'clock this morning, like doing work. So, busy morning. Stupid busy. It's a Saturday.
I woke up an hour ago.
Good for you. Jerk. I fell asleep during the main event segment on SmackDown, and I woke up at like 3 o'clock and I was like, oh no, what happened? My lights are still on and everything. I turned everything off and I'm watching it on my phone. I fell asleep again. And I woke up at 6 and I'm like, all right, for real though. So, yeah, no. But my morning's going okay. It'll be fine. It'll all be okay. No one really cares. It's fine though. You know.
I mean, I'm probably gonna have to like finish SmackDown after this is over. I stopped at the Charlotte Tiffany segment.
Okay.
And then pulled the event on my phone.
We'll fill you in on what else happened. I guess we can start with the Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton segment if you want. What'd you think about that?
I think that Tiffany got one over on Charlotte, and so Charlotte just had to pull something out of thin air real quick, and it made no sense.
Can we all agree Kaiser is not in Charlotte's DMs?
No.
I'm pretty sure.
I was seeing things. They cut that line out of all the social media clips.
Yes.
Like that line, any mention of Ric Flair and the divorce.
Yep.
So all of the meat of the promo got cut out of the social media clips.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. All of it. I think... So, this whole Tiffany Stratton Charlotte thing, I'm pretty sure they were allowed to bring up things. They must have had an understanding backstage to do that. But if not, like, that's wild. I also love, it's clear that, like, at some point, Charlotte was just trying to end the segment when, like, the crowd would not let her speak and just hated her, and she was clearly rattled by that. And she was like, you can have the last word. And then she kept trying to talk. And it was like, oh, you're actually bothered by this. So I'm hoping we get a report like they had a fight last night backstage or something. Because it seemed pretty live.
This segment was clearly written to allow Tiffany to get one over on Charlotte, and Charlotte was not okay with that, so that's why she threw in the Kaiser line.
Well, so the funny thing about saying that though is it clearly went off the rails. Like the whole thing, like clearly was. I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it was not.
Until the end, still seemed like it was prepared. Like they knew what they were gonna. At least Tiffany knew, like, this is what I'm saying in this script.
Mm-hmm.
And even like most of what Charlotte was saying felt pretty like, hey, this is planned.
I thought Charlotte gave up on her promo, like 100% just gave up on the promo because like at one point she just when she was like, all right, you can just have the last word, because I feel like she was running up on their time, and she was like, this isn't working or going anywhere, so just kill it. I really feel like that's what was happening, but I don't know. It was interesting.
It was a step up from last week for sure, since it was, not a video package. We knew that Tiffany would at least be able to do something in front of a live crowd, since the crowd's obviously going to be on her side too.
That's where she strives too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's more comfortable when she knows that she's doing well.
Yeah, and I think
which is fair.
And I think the crowd's going to be on her side because one, we hate Charlotte Flair, and 2, I think
Yeah.
Tiffany has a big upside. Chicago fans might have found a couple other reasons, but that's on them. But no, I think the crowd was always going to be with Tiffany Stratton, and I think putting them out in the people was smart instead of just a backstage segment that you could edit, if you wanted to. This seemed like a better use of that. I don't know what the hell that thing was supposed to be, but mission accomplished, I think. I don't really know.
That is a lot more heat for the match, though.
Yeah, they just got to kill.
It,
Yeah, they got to kill each other. They're gonna have to work. They're kind of working on a negative, in my opinion. Charlotte Flair
next week.
Attempting to constantly bury like Tiffany is making putting this match in the negative. Like they're gonna have to work out of a hole. And I
At
don't
this
know if they
point,
have chemistry to do it.
At this point, after the Jay and Gunther segment on Raw, I think this is now the least exciting match at Mania. Like I had no excitement for Jay and Gunther.
Did you watch
after
the
that build.
Kevin Owens segment by chance?
No, I didn't get to.
Oh,
that. I saw
okay.
in the notes,
Well,
like
that-
he's,
Really?
That might
he's injured.
be the least interesting match in WrestleMania now.
What Owens and Orton is not happening because Owens is injured is pretty much what I got.
Yeah, he's literally got probably a broken neck.
Ooh,
Said he's been dealing with it for 4 months, and I think back, what happened 4 months ago? The Royal Rumble. Remember we thought Kevin
Yeah.
Owens was dead? Maybe he was.
ugh.
That's just my timeline. I don't know
I-
if that's real.
Is it possible that this is just like a story beat?
No,
I
it's
have no.
All?
it is 100% confirmed he has a broken neck. He's going to get surgery next week.
Oh man.
They're talking about getting some of his spine fused. It's not a story.
Oh,
If it was, Randy
So-
Orton might have
Oh.
attacked him, but he didn't.
I thought he was going to when Randy came out. I thought.
Yeah.
And then that just didn't happen.
If
He
it
just
was
kept walking
if it
away.
was a story, which I thought it might have been as well, because Randy came out and I was like, uh-oh. I was like, this might be a story. And I was like,
That's
oh.
what we were talking to the group chat. I was like, I'm not too sure about
Yeah,
this.
because I'm like, oh, if it's a story, this is a perfect story for Randy because he can be like, oh, you broke my neck. Oh, well. You know what I mean? Or something, but he just didn't.
Yeah.
So, no, it's
What does this mean for Randy now for Mania? Like, do they just
Randy
not
doesn't.
put him on the card?
Andre the Giant Battle Royal, go. And he's
Throw him in the US.
no.
and he's got to lose to El Grande Americano.
Oh no.
He gets so mad that he punts the mask off of him, and that's how they acknowledge Chad Gable. Everybody wins.
We need to tweet that.
Yes.
Triple H, you need to book that right now. That's hilarious.
But the Battle Royal happens on SmackDown. They don't put it on the Mania card.
Whatever. Last time this happened to
Maybe
somebody
it makes
where
the Mania card because Randy Orton's in it.
yeah, well, last time this happened to someone whose match was pulled out last moment, it was Bobby Lashley, and he won the thing. So, could happen.
Who won it last year? Was it Bronson?
Does it matter? I think it was. It might have been. Who
I
knows?
think it was. That sounds familiar. Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
That'd be a
but,
fun trivia game. Give me the Andre to the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winners.
yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
No, it
There's
did like the first time.
when Cesaro won it.
Yeah, that was.
That's
they made
because he
him under the
eliminated
card,
Big Show
so-
last just by picking him up and throwing him over the rope.
And then the next night he became a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah. Cesaro has so much upside, but
Mid 2010s is so weird.
yeah. So, yeah, the Tiffany and Charlotte thing was wild. Stay posted for that because they have to kill each other, right? Like they're gonna have to kill each other.
It doesn't.
They're-
Regardless, Charlotte's gonna win. We're gonna be sad.
Their promo chemistry is so awful that it's like you guys are gonna have to work extra hard on your match to work out of
They
this.
better have really good in-ring chemistry.
It's gonna be
Because
either
if this match is a dud, unfortunately, Tiffany's gonna be blamed for
exactly.
Yeah.
But there's
it, even if it's Charlotte's fault.
yeah, which I think it might. Well, that would be a benefit for Charlotte to try to bury her. Honestly, if she was gonna do it, because she could just be like tank the match. If you gotta go. You good? Gotta go for the dog out. I get it. So I guess the next thing to talk about Man, we just kind of segmented on to the Kevin Owens thing, and Ian didn't even watch it, and I get it, but I mean that I thought.
That got me.
Go ahead.
That whole thing got me so. I'm so hurt. I was so excited for the Randy Orton Kevin Owens match. I really hope he just doesn't get left off the card now.
Yeah,
I really hope.
Who knows where we go from there. Well, honestly, we have to wait and see. If anything else, it takes one match off of Mania, which is probably a good thing, if I'm being honest. Give everybody else a little more time. Though it is a 2-night event, so.
I like that Mania is the one night a year where it's like 10 matches on each side.
Yeah,
every
for
year,
now.
though, there's always forgettable matches, though. Not saying Randy Orton and Kevin Owens would have obviously been one, but like every year there's a couple matches.
For example, Kory, what was the opening match of WrestleMania Night 2 last year?
That was Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, the 5-minute skirmish.
Good job.
That was cool, though. I enjoyed that.
It was great.
I really thought they were gonna Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins at that moment. I was like, oh my god.
All right, so Ray Phoenix had his debut on SmackDown. What do we think?
So good. And they put him up against Nathan Frazier, which was an amazing idea, other than that suicide dive. But great. Loved it.
That was a really, really fun match.
I really like Ray Phoenix, so I'm going to.
I like Ray Phoenix. I like Nathan Frazier. I wouldn't have them wrestle again. I don't think they really have that good of chemistry. They almost blew up a couple spots, and it was like obvious, and I was like,
yeah, yeah. There was more than just a suicide dive spot that I noticed. Too.
Yeah,
I didn't really see anything other than the suicide dive that was like egregious.
That was the main one.
When there was like a drop kick that was like weird. There was a couple things that were like a little shaky.
Happened. I was gonna say, if those happened during the picture-in-picture, I fast-forward the picture-in-picture, so I wouldn't have caught that.
No. If you go back and watch it, there's a couple things where you see it and you're like, oh, that's weird.
I mean, that's fine though. Like even Penta's first match against Chad Gable had a couple hiccups. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, but I know like the thing with Phoenix is like Penta is the one with the aura and kind of like the better character, and Phoenix is the better wrestler. I'm not after that match. I'm not sure. It's like it was fine, but it was like I don't know. I did like the crowd reaction when he dropped him right on his head. They bought that.
Could have been the finish.
That really, I honestly thought it should have been.
It was.
Yeah,
I thought it was. Pile driver thing was going to be the finish.
But it makes sense it's not, because can you do that to everybody? You know what I mean? Can Ray Phoenix do that to everybody? Probably not.
Can he do the Mexican muscle buster to everybody? Like, ain't nobody spinning like that except for the small dudes.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's gonna be the interesting thing with Ray Phoenix. I think honestly, you just put him up against a monster just to see what happens. Just to see. Let's really test him. Where's Bronson Reed when he comes back? Just flatten him.
Oh, that'd be such a good match.
Or awful. We'll find out. But I would do it.
Well, I feel like it'd be very similar to like, obviously not in terms of like athleticism, but like the stuff that Phoenix did with like Brian Cage.
Brian Cage is definitely more athletic than like
Bronson. Yeah. Like just that Phoenix does really well with big guys who can be a base for him.
Yeah, like, or people who can just beat the crap out of him, and for sure. And I'm sure we'll get there because every luchador has to have that fight eventually. It just always happens.
Where his eye hole on his mask gets ripped up. Like
right.
Yeah.
Right. It always happens. So, I think we'll get there. I think, I was curious what they were going to do for his entrance, because Penta's was so over the top and nuts. And then they kind of, yeah, exactly. They kind of did the same thing. And I was like, I wonder if part of these contract negotiations are, listen, I'll only come here if my entrance is crazy stupid. You know what I mean? I need like all the pyro.
I think what they're going to do with this wave of people that come in from AEW, Penta, Phoenix, Alistair when he comes back, even like what they did with Ricky Starks and Rusev will probably happen, but like what they did with Ricky Starks and Ethan Page, like they're wanting to make these guys feel like a really big deal. Sean Spears.
They don't
treatment, but it's fine.
I feel like they don't have to do anything with Aleister Black. Just give him his old entrance back. That thing was just dope.
Oh yeah, the little like.
Yeah, the rising thing, and then the music, like, you know, the guitar, just that little riff as like you see like little candles and things lit, and then all of a sudden he rises, and then it hits. Oof, crazy.
I think it'd be really
cool.
funny if when he comes back, he just acts like the Dark Father again, like he didn't leave 5 years ago.
I think
But he's just right.
I honestly think he's going to. When he left WWE to go to AEW, that's when he started doing that thing with like his eye was like turning black or whatever. And he did that because like Seth Rollins tried to take his eye out. Like it was still like it was like one dude, just like a through line. So I think
There was a YouTube video that I had watched a while ago, and it was like explaining the Dark Father, but really it was more like an in-depth look into like Tommy End, Aleister Black, what do you want to call him?
Yeah.
And it's like all of his characters, Tommy End, Aleister to Malachi, is one person with a different name.
Yes,
like,
exactly. That's why I say when I think
he did on the Indies, he brought with him. He brought like that story into NXT and stuff like that. Really cool. You don't see a whole lot of people do that.
Yeah, no. I this is why I think he's going to have to. He's gonna do something like that, which is why I think Big E shows up and randomly gets kicked in the face. Because that wasn't something that we ever did. I need Big E to come back, and I need Aleister Black to just kick him right in the face, and then explain it later somehow.
It could be interesting if so when he debuted on AEW, he debuted and attacked Cody.
Yeah,
I think it'd be really interesting if the Friday after SmackDown, Cody comes out, is like, Cena, bring me my belt, and it's Aleister. He just pops up, kicks him in the head, and then WWE's like, no, this is how you do this feud.
I mean,
AEW botched that feud.
Could be. I don't know. We'll see.
Would put him in the main event scene immediately, especially if he beats Cody.
Well, this. You got to think the guy booking is the guy that was booking Black and Gold NXT, and all the people he loved are doing really well right now. So maybe except for Kevin Owens, but you know that's and Sami Zayn.
I saw a meme a few days ago, and it was like, I don't understand why Triple H isn't being calm with these bookings and just putting his guys on top. And somebody replied, guys, if Triple H was just putting his guys on top, we would have had Cody Rhodes versus Johnny Gargano like immediately.
Yeah, no kidding. And honestly, that'd be a great match. That's something I would be okay with seeing.
I think I'm ready for DIY to be separated. Let Tommaso just be killer.
Don't you love DIY?
I do love DIY, but also I think there's so much good stuff happening in the tag the tag division, that we could use a evil Tommaso Ciampa heel and a Johnny Gargano babyface elsewhere on the card.
If we have learned anything from the slow dissolving of the Judgment Day, DIY will not be broken up until 2028. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Though I feel like with the Judgment Day, we're finally getting to the point where it's gonna happen.
WrestleMania is going to be like the end of it.
Yes, I think so.
At least gone. And I hope that they change the name, because at that point, the only person that would be left is Dom.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, they should be called Street Trash. That's what they should be called. Ugh, awful. All right, so let's talk about Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY
I didn't see this match. I gotta watch.
Oh, you didn't? It was a good match. These two are not gonna have a bad match. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you now what happened. The Motor City.
I know what happened.
Oh well, fine. Okay.
I know the results. I shouldn't watch the match.
Well, the Motor City Machine Guns defeated DIY. They're gonna get a shot at the Street Profits. I think we're still building to a multi-tag team match at Mania. But yeah, I mean, solid match. I don't think those two could have a bad match together. It was just, actually, it was a lot of the spots were identical to the house show I went to when last time they were at SmackDown was in Detroit. Like a lot of the things they did there, I was like, hey, I recognize this. You'll see there's a spot where they go to throw a DIY at each other, and they spin it, and they do like hook their arms and run back and kick. But there's a lot of interesting spots. Good match. And I think the Motor City Machine Guns and Street Profits match is going to also be great, but I think that's going to be the official, all right, we need to start making this match with all these tag teams. I think that'll be the moment when DIY interferes or something goes crazy. So
we only got like 2 weeks to make something, to make that a multi-man match.
I mean, but we've technically been building that style match for weeks. So
I don't think the Garzas are going to be in the match.
I don't think so either after last night.
Yeah, which is very sad because they deserve to be.
Yeah.
Yes. I think they're going to start feuding with Ray Phoenix. Which is fine.
Which, I mean,
Mexicans.
Phoenix versus Santos, that'd be a banger.
It would 100%. 100%. So, I mean,
You
we'll
stay
see.
quiet over there.
Why? What's wrong?
We go through this every week. I'm a Santos. I don't care about Santos.
Why don't you like him?
We go through this every week. Bro, like literally just bro has nothing redeeming about his character. I don't care. He's just so bland.
Okay.
I don't care.
All right, let's.
It's a character thing. It's not like in the ring, sure, but like I don't care about his character.
What characters do you like?
Otis. El
Otis,
Grande
sure.
Americano. Akira Tozawa.
I
Probably
literally
Ice
just don't.
Speed.
Santos kind of just exists. He doesn't really have like he doesn't really have much personality to me.
Oh, so like Ricochet, kind of.
I didn't like Ricochet all that much either.
I didn't say you did. I was like, is that what you would compare him to?
I guess.
Good wrestler, but like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something similar. That's all.
You didn't watch NXT much, did you?
No.
Yeah, that shows.
This is why we go through the same conversation every week.
And yet you
Go on YouTube.
And yet you still seem ill prepared for it. I don't know why. It's weird. We go through it every week.
Kory, I want you to go on YouTube and look up King Cuerno versus Ray Phoenix. Watch
Brother,
that.
I barely was able to pay attention to live SmackDown. I don't got time to go watch old NXT stuff all the time.
You guys are killing me. Okay, so can we talk about this? Did you watch the Pretty Deadly segment backstage?
Nope.
Oh,
That's
man.
the Tiffany and Charlotte thing, and then I turned the show off so that I could get ready. I didn't want you all to be like, you're late again.
I mean, well, you know.
I wasn't.
You're the one who set the schedule, so.
Makes a suggestion. It goes, actually, can we not?
I thought I would have more time.
Okay. Likely story. Hold on. I'm going to find this. I'm going to show you this segment because, copyright law can suck it. Where is it? Maybe it's not even. Oh, it's not even on here. Well, it was a great segment. You missed it. So, that's on you. Essentially, The Miz and Carmelo Hayes came by and they started trading like insults with the Pretty Deadly. And I don't know who wrote for the Pretty Deadly or if they were just allowed to kind of riff. But they're kind of great, like making fun of The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. It also seems like Carmelo Hayes has kind of embraced being The Miz's tag team partner. I kind of hate that, but at least he has something to do.
Yeah.
So I don't really know about that. I think eventually Carmelo Hayes and The Miz will have to fight each other, but if you get a chance to find that segment, it's pretty hilarious. Like the Pretty Deadly kind of killed it. They are not wrestlers like the person that Kory hates, Santos Escobar. They actually have like a lot of personality. Yeah, they're great.
I love Pretty Deadly.
They're great.
They're awesome. Yeah.
They're gonna win the tag titles at WrestleMania, of course.
I'm so here for it.
I think I said this last week. They're just the guy version of the Iconics, and
Yeah, you said something along
yeah,
those lines.
yeah, and I'm here for that because the Iconics were great. So what did you see, Ian?
I saw the opening segment with Punk and Heyman,
Got it.
which was okay. They're gonna chant CM Punk until he comes out.
Right.
So let's open the show with him.
Just leading to the main event segment, right?
Saw the Rey Fenix match.
Okay.
I fast forwarded the LA Knight versus Tama Tonga match because it just seemed like a match that
I didn't
knew what
even
was gonna.
put it on this list.
Yeah.
Honestly, I forgot it happened until you just said that.
And then the Tiffany and Charlotte match.
And you saw the
And then,
main event segment?
Yeah, I pulled that up on YouTube and put it on 2x speed. Which,
Okay.
for the record, the song that they sing for Rollins' intro, like the crowd sings, sounds way better in 2x speed.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it.
Da-da.
Yeah, it's almost more melodic that way. So the main event segment, CM Punk finally gets to tell everybody what the favor is, and my reaction to it as soon as he said it was the exact same reaction Roman had. That's it? That's the thing?
Mhm.
That's what you
I
want?
was so annoyed. I was
got
so
me too.
annoyed. I was like,
Yeah.
bro, what?
But the crowd bought it.
But also, like, here's the problem. Heyman's gonna be at ringside anyway, because he'd be at ringside with Roman.
Right. So
And he's gonna be moving around. So
Right.
why say
So
he's in
so
my
here's the
corner
thing.
instead of yours?
But here's the thing. Heyman is now going to come out with CM Punk,
Yeah.
right? Not Roman. So Roman's coming out alone, right? Yeah, at ringside anything can happen. But like the fact that Roman has to do the whole thing by himself, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I do like the fact that it's like kind of caused dissension between Paul Heyman and Roman, and I think that's the point, right? It's less about who is Paul Heyman helping down here, and more about psychological warfare.
Paul Heyman kind of turning on Roman.
Yeah, kind of. And
WrestleMania Night 1 will end with Paul Heyman siding with Seth Rollins.
that's what I'm hoping for.
At this point, that's just what I'm thinking is going to happen.
That would be
And they
great.
can do the whole you both
I would
abused
be-
me
that
and
would be
used
so
me.
good.
And
Yeah, and then Seth will do the same thing, because he's Seth. I think anytime you get CM Punk in Chicago in a main event segment talking to somebody, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's
I saw something on Instagram this morning that was like, bro, why did Roman Reigns sell that GTS like he's Peter Griffin?
because he fell down and kind of just the.
Oh, that's
Just
great.
like-
He folded. Like,
and Rollins just stood there. Like, Rollins, who's been the instigator for everything, just let that happen and didn't do anything after.
Rollins-
I love how when Punk said what the favor was, Rollins was just sitting there laughing.
Yep. He was my favorite in this entire segment, and you can tell.
Yeah.
You could tell he was just doing whatever the hell he wanted because they cut to him like twice, and they were like, "No, don't put him on frame anymore," because he was just
in the back, like, dang it, Seth.
right. He was just laughing and losing it. It was hilarious. Even
I'm
though,
here for Seth Rollins winning. I'm here for it.
yeah, especially after that segment, it's like, do it,
Yeah.
please.
I think that's who I'm picking for this match at this point.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, so we have from today we have 2 weeks to WrestleMania. What day do you leave?
That morning. I leave the morning of the 19th. Like, I have to be at the airport at like 3 a.m.
Okay, so I will make sure that I put out the prediction sheet a couple days before.
My phone will work. We're getting the Wi-Fi and stuff. My phone will work.
Yeah, will it work while you're at the airport?
Yeah.
Will
It's
it
not
work
when I'm
on
on
the
the plane.
plane? Well,
No, not on the plane, but I'm
and,
landing.
And when do you get your Wi-Fi? You know what I mean? Because by the time you get to your flight,
Just let him send the predictions
fly down.
early, man.
yeah, right. What are you fighting me for? What do you?
No, I'm just saying,
what is
my
this
phone will
argument
be
about?
working.
This
I
argument
fully
is about
intend to-
nothing. What?
I fully intend to watch everything live.
You're gonna watch SmackDown live?
Well, no, not SmackDown.
Well,
but
then-
I'm gonna
No,
watch.
that's not everything.
Wait.
I meant like stand and deliver WrestleMania night 1 and night 2.
I should have known, Kory. You couldn't even watch SmackDown last night, but he told us to all be here at 11:30.
My bad. I was out celebrating my wife's birthday. Sue me.
No. Also,
Good,
how
were-
was your wife's?
I don't-
How was your wife's birthday?
Pretty good. We went out to Ann Arbor, got dinner at this restaurant that I was way underdressed to go to, and then went
They
to
still let you
Pinball
in?
Pete's.
Oh, okay.
It's Ann Arbor. Like they look super fancy, but they also don't care. It's a college town.
There's a lot of places that won't let you in. Where'd you go?
It's called the Gandy Dancer. It's like this old train station, but also like they converted it into a really nice restaurant. It's really good. It has some really good salmon. Like it's a bunch of seafood that they catch.
Yeah. Not a fan of
Dude.
seafood, but the plate looked fantastic.
It's really good.
I'm kind of curious
And then-
about fancy restaurants and how like they charge you so much money for so little food. I don't know how big the plate actually was.
No, it was a pretty
But-
good chunk of food. They gave her a creme brulee for her birthday.
Oh, that's
which
nice.
was really. I'm not a huge fan of creme brulee, but that was really good.
Anything free usually tastes a little bit better than it would have had you purchased it.
Yeah.
So.
And then we swung over to Pinball Pete's, that arcade in Ann Arbor.
Oh yes, I
Always-
love Pinball Pete's.
and
Super fun.
then we should have gone home after that, but we went to Detroit to meet up with my parents after the hockey game, and that's why we were out till 2 a.m.
I got to get a hat from them. I got to track them down today at some point.
Gave you your hat.
No, I have another hat from them.
Oh.
So my wife wanted to go to the game yesterday, but she's out of town all weekend, and she didn't realize. And I was like, oh. So I tried to get tickets, and I couldn't. I was like, dang. So I was like, hey, this is hat Shell wants, but like, I'm not there. So I was like, hey, y'all get another extra one. So they did. So at some point, I got to reach out to your dad and try to track him down in Detroit or something.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a lot of information this podcast did not need.
Sidebars.
Yeah. So it looks like we're gonna get that Naomi. We are confirmed going to get Naomi and Jade Cargill WrestleMania.
There's
I
a
think
stip on this, right? Please tell me there's a stipulation on this match.
not that we know of yet.
Not yet.
What would
I hope
what would
that-
your stipulation be? Like a street fight or something?
That was my exact thought. Was
Or
was street fight.
the loser has to go through a windshield or something?
No, just I think either this match, like it was gonna be the Kevin Randy match. I'm assuming. but-
Well, I think what might happen here is they start fighting before the match starts. So you don't have a street fight stipulation, but you get all that out of the way before the match can get under control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think if they want to build Jade, that she's gonna see. My one problem with this match that I'm finding is like they want to build Jade up. They want Jade to be like the top woman in that division eventually. So she should win. But this heel Naomi character really should win.
I agree, but she doesn't need to.
Doesn't need to, but it's such like it'd be so good for the character to win.
Sure.
But it's gonna
So
be Jade.
I mean, you can get the visual win without getting a win. You can completely incapacitate somebody after a match, before a match, without having to actually get that win. So the thing that the reason I think that we are going to build to like some sort of interference in the first off WrestleMania, if you think about it, there hasn't been too many matches where as someone's making their entrance and they start getting jumped. That's not really a WrestleMania thing. It's all about pomp and circumstance, and everyone gets all their giant stuff. So that's one. Two, last night it was supposed to be Naomi versus B-Fab, and as soon as Naomi's came out, Jade attacked her immediately. Started fighting. Naomi beat up B-Fab, and then the whole thing just devolved into Jade coming back out trying to fight, and then the match being made official. So I think this is kind of like the structure we should keep this match in for Mania. Just let it be first, the very first match. Just let it be chaotic. Just let them go for it. I don't
think
see.
they'll give them the opener.
Saying open the show with it?
Yeah, why not?
They're not going to get an opener.
Who do you think is the
It'll
opening?
be Jay and Gunther. I think we're starting with Beatlemania.
You think night 1 or night 2 with that though? Remember, we got 2 nights.
I think
I could see them opening the
we
women's
start
triple
night
threat too,
1.
honestly.
I think that's opening night 2. I think night 1 is Jay and Gunther opening, and night 2 is the women's triple threat opening.
And that still hasn't technically been confirmed. But after Raw, we didn't. Oh, dude, we could talk about Raw too.
I was wondering why we started with SmackDown.
Sorry?
I was wondering why we started with SmackDown.
Oh, because SmackDown happened last night. You know, the show you didn't watch. That's.
I watched a third of it.
Yeah, let's talk Raw. Jeez. So I mean, the main event was Rhea Ripley versus Io
with the special referee,
right, as Bianca Belair. And that ended with a double disqualification. Because they both hit Bianca. I'd like to point out, Io didn't hit Bianca intentionally, but whatever.
I mean, Rhea didn't hit her intentionally the first time.
The first time. I think that's important.
I don't know.
Is it not?
I said last week that this was a dumb choice to do, to just make it the triple threat. We're doing too much to make this match happen.
Why is it? Why?
You're just doing too much. Like, Io said, I'll fight them both. And Rhea was like, no, I don't care about wrestling. I'm like, okay, she said she'll fight them both. Make it a triple threat.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bianca, you weren't promised. Here's the thing. Bianca was not promised a one-on-one title match. Bianca was promised a title match.
Yeah, but think about this. If you were promised a title match, right, with the champion, and someone else is trying to squeeze their way into your match, you'd kind of be pissed. Like, no. You know what I mean? You wouldn't be happy about that. If I was like, hey, Ian, here's an opportunity for just you, right, to do something.
But it was never promised that it would be just her.
And then Kory is like...
Why?
And then Kory's like, oh, well, I want that opportunity too, and now you guys are competing over an opportunity you had. What the hell?
Why is Bianca constantly getting booed for being right in this feud?
They were in the UK
I
and
think
they're
that's
racist.
European.
They'd never seen a black person before.
Okay. I'm so glad that we're out of Europe, dude. I'm so glad we're out of Europe.
Why?
Because what started as fans being great crowds built into fans taking over segments and fans getting putting themselves over.
Oh, you didn't like the
segments.
Roman Reigns?
It would have been fine if
Roman,
the Randy Orton segment at the start of the
Reigns.
show. If the Randy Orton segment at the start of the show hadn't taken an extra 10 minutes because they were chanting RKO pointlessly, to the point where even Randy was getting frustrated.
Well, it's a good thing we're on Netflix, isn't it?
Chicago did the Roman Reigns chant too.
Yeah, it
But
was
it didn't
pretty funny.
overtake the segment.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, because they realized, oh, we're not European. So, and this isn't soccer, so what are we doing? You want to talk about hey, you know what? We finally did it. I talked a couple weeks ago about how I feel like the Cena and Cody segment is going to need some physicality at some point. And we did it. We finally did it. Props to everybody. And it wasn't
some actual back and forth promo work too.
Yeah. And I thought it was funny because I feel like Cody tried to pull an 8 Mile kind of thing. And I'm going to tell you a bunch of things about me that you can't make fun of because I brought them up. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, bro. And then all of a sudden it was like, he talked about his tattoo and he goes, no, I don't care where your tattoo is. It's what it is. And it just kind of, the promo was great from both of them. Oh, yeah. I think the ending was stupid though. I don't like the fact that the one thing that finally got John Cena to swing at Cody was, well, at least the fans never said, I can't wrestle. That was it. That was the one. That was the barb. I'm like, man, I feel like you could have done better than that. But, all in all, I mean, it was a great segment. Great back and forth. I like the John Cena, you're still my hero. That was great. Yeah, that's what he said. That's exactly what he said. Yeah.
I don't even know if that's PG.
It was not.
I would like to be able to promote this podcast, but if we be swearing,
I
can't promote it.
Anyway, so listen, that segment was great. What else happened on Raw? Let's see. I'm gonna pull this up.
Gunther, Jimmy, Jay.
Oh yeah, why does Jimmy always have to get murdered, bro?
Okay, so
rest in peace, Big Jim.
Jimmy Uso is the one with the actual charisma and promo skills. So it made sense that he had to be sacrificed at the altar of Jey Uso, in a way.
I know,
to-
but like it's just I've always liked Jimmy more than Jay, honestly, and it just makes me sad that Big Jay
I
always
know.
gets murdered.
I know what I said, Ian. Okay, don't look at me like that. I know what I said. The point is they had to sacrifice his brother for this thing to heat back up.
They needed to do that.
Yeah.
They needed to.
Yeah, because Jey Uso, as much as I love him, he
They
can't.
sacrificed that man's U.S. title shot.
Yeah, sure, but like Jay can't really carry a promo segment, right? He's
Mhm.
just a really cool guy, but the moment he talks, it's his aura kind of just is gone.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of not put him in that. However, this week on Raw, he needs to come out to his music and he needs to not talk to anybody, not slap anybody's hand, not come out of the crowd.
Don't come out through the crowd.
No, come directly to the ring. Don't no fan interaction, nothing. Just walk straight to the ring, pissed. Call out Gunther, and when he shows up, it doesn't matter if he just walks out or he's backstage. Go get him. That's what you need immediately.
Yeah.
Go get him. There needs to be no happy Jey Uso. And if we do anything other than that, we're putting it back behind the 8 ball. That was great though. The whole thing. The only thing I thought was weird was you zip tied him instead of like handcuffing him.
So I heard somebody say something, and I think I agree with it. I think they used zip ties instead of handcuffs because of the Usos' history with being arrested, and it just wouldn't be a good optic. Because they've both been arrested for DUIs like twice. So I think that might be why they chose zip ties instead. Because it's not a good optic.
They also had like a Uso penitentiary gimmick though, so like that kind of I feel like that
Yeah.
kinda-
Do you know what?
yeah,
You know where that gimmick
yeah.
came from?
I mean,
Mug shots.
yeah, like,
But here's my thought. My thought was, I wonder if there was like a legal issue, using it in a different country, handcuffs. Like I don't
Maybe.
know if they're not accessible
yeah.
or whatever. Not like
Yeah,
WWE
but-
couldn't get a
yeah.
pair, but
The issue with using zip ties is I work with zip ties pretty often at my job. You can break them, boys, pretty.
I mean they
easily.
were thick boys, but yeah, of course. Like I
You
honestly,
are a professional wrestler. If I can break off a zip tie with my hand, you can do it too.
he should have zip tied each of his hands to one of the ropes, so he was like stuck in the corner, and he could have just beat the
Yeah.
piss out of him too. But yeah, no, I
just sit there and
Gunther
chop
channeled
him to
09
death.
Randy Orton.
Yes, just-
Gunther was channeling 09 Randy Orton.
yes, just chop him to death. There we go. Die by way of chops.
He's so good.
Can
Monday
we-
night, book it.
Let's go. We talk about the Logan Paul AJ Styles match confirmed for WrestleMania.
I
Cool. think
guess.
this will be similar in vein to the LA Knight versus AJ Styles match last year, where everybody's like, yeah, sure, whatever, and then the match happens, like, oh, that was great.
It's gonna be a good match, but like there's just been little to no build for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's just
Mhm.
I hate Logan Paul.
I know.
I
As a
just
person,
don't
he's
like him.
not a-
Yes.
But not even just as a person. I don't think he's as great of a wrestler as everybody thinks he is. He's a really good listener, and he's a really good doer when someone tells him to do something. But like, I want to see him in a match with someone he can't speak English with. That's what I want to see. Someone he can't communicate with. And
Well,
I bet
his
the match
matches are
sucks.
so, like, heavily prepped and all that.
Yeah.
So like,
But that's
Good
that's
him.
why they look
and that's
good.
what I mean. Like he's good at doing the things and listening and doing what he's told, right? And that makes it like he's only wrestled people who are way better than him and so experienced that they can wrestle anyone. Go ahead,
Rey and
think about it.
Trump-
Yeah,
Trump
Rey
versus
Mysterio.
Rey. Yeah, Rey.
Rey Mysterio.
The Miz.
The
was
Miz.
second
The
match.
Miz.
Seth Rollins.
Right. Go ahead.
Rumble match.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. That match was
Roman.
really good.
Yeah, because of
Triple Threat at Mania with Kevin and Randy.
see.
Kevin Owens at the Rumble. That
See, I'm not
year.
wrong.
LA Knight.
Yep.
Who did he lose?
Elimination
Oh,
Chamber
Come on.
this past year.
twice.
You can just say I'm not wrong. I mean, we can just get there. We can
Yeah,
just.
I'm just trying to think of all of his like. He hasn't had that many.
I'm just playing this game. I'm trying to listen to people.
Okay. Of like all of his matches, his first match was random, and then the Miz turned on him, so he fought the Miz at SummerSlam that year,
Yep.
and that was 22.
Sure.
So he fought Roman that year after he fought the Miz because that was a Saudi match.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the 23 Rumble.
Listen, I gotta tell you, you talking to yourself
also
is
fought
definitely
Cody,
entertaining, but like, man, you know,
He fought Seth at Mania 39.
yeah, we're slowly getting
Rey
there.
Mysterio- He won the Rumble. He won the U.S. title from Ray later that year. I don't think he had another match between there.
All right, so listen, how did we feel about the New Day versus the New Cats Republic as they showed back up in like London?
I'm confused. I thought Pete Dunne was a bad guy.
Pete Dunne was injured.
After the Kaiser and Penta thing, he was injured. No, Tyler Bate was injured. I didn't think Pete Dunne was injured. I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was talking about Tyler Bate. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pete Dunne was
Well,
a bad guy last time we saw him.
there
But
was-
then they brought him like, oh look, babyface,
Ho-
yay! Like, with
one-
no
okay,
explanation.
okay,
And
one-
I haven't seen anybody else talk about this.
One, hometown crowd, right? Two,
Mhm.
face versing the New Day. He's going to be the face. Three, they put a segment on the internet after that where Pete Dunne talked about needing to get his head screwed on straight. So I think there is. I don't know if he's
Okay.
there. So yeah,
See, I didn't see that because it wasn't on the show.
no, you're right. It was one of those after like segments, but yeah, they did kind of address it, but it's not. It wasn't on the television show. I thought this match was pretty good. Dude,
It was fun.
the New Day winning makes sense, especially if we are going to keep Pete Dunne heel. He can turn on Tyler Bate right now. Though I don't
Yeah.
know if we should because I like having tag teams on Raw that the New Day can fight.
We
The Raw tag team
we
division.
need
needs
Raw
it.
tag team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the New Day wins, and then immediately the War Raiders come out and they challenge them to a match. So we haven't. I don't think they confirmed that for Mania yet, but it looks like that
I'm
is
sure it'll get confirmed this week.
right. But I'm pretty sure that is going to happen. How do we feel about that as a potential match?
I
Cool.
think they need to give the New Day the tag team belts.
Oh yeah, that's
You know.
happening.
100%. But then Big E needs to
Guys,
come
hear me
back
out.
and then get kicked in the face by Aleister Black.
Hear me out. Big E comes out during the match, and he screws the War Raiders, turning heel so that the entire New Day's back together as heels.
And then Aleister Black kicks him in the face. 6-man tag. Let's go.
He's going to SmackDown.
Shut up. Don't ruin this for me.
I'm going to. He's going to SmackDown. There
That's
was
fine.
another vignette
Yeah,
this week. He's going to be on
Yeah,
SmackDown.
he probably wants to be with his wife. It makes sense. So
Well, his wife was already on Raw.
now she's on SmackDown.
So I was pretty sure they moved her to SmackDown because they wanted Aleister on SmackDown.
I feel like I just said that and you said it a different way.
Oh, you were saying it that they're putting Aleister on SmackDown because of Zelina. I'm saying they moved Zelina to SmackDown because Aleister was going to be there.
Either way, they're both on SmackDown. What do we care?
Well, yeah.
What are we talking about? Who does it matter who moved when or why to like they're both moved to SmackDown. That's what we're both getting at, right?
Is that match happening at WrestleMania? Zelina and Chelsea?
I
Is
don't
that
know.
happening?
I don't know, man.
'Cause I didn't see anything with that.
They didn't do
Like,
any.
We got
rundown.
no build this week. Yeah.
No. I think there's just a lot
Like-
going on. Honestly, I can't wait till SmackDown is 2 hours again because it's killing me. So New Day wins. Gonna face the War Raiders for the tag titles. That match is gonna be just fire. They're gonna kill it. I think. I think the New Day have to win that match for sure.
Oh, yeah. When was the last
don't
time they were
know.
tag champs?
Say that again.
When was the last time the New Day held championships? Was it their NXT title run?
It might have been.
And that was like 2020. 2022?
I don't know. Could have been.
That was 2022. They lost him in 2023.
Mm.
Who'd they lose him to? Fraxium? No.
Gallus.
Who eventually lost it to Fraxium. So, hey, speaking of tag matches, though, Penta and Braun Breaker versus the Judgment Day.
Finn got a pin. Finn got a pin.
Finn did not just get a pin. He pinned Penta.
Penta.
After
I
Penta
texted Ian.
got speared by
Ian right
Breaker.
after I watched it. I was like losing my mind. I was like, "Yo, Finn pinned Penta. You're up. You're so up." Finn Balor has talk.
I have become so burned that I'm not even getting my hopes up yet because I know he's taking the pinfall at Mania.
Who?
Finn.
Yeah. Yep.
That match is gonna end because Dom's gonna turn on Balor and pin him.
I need Braun to spear Finn, right? And then we need Penta to like do something to Braun, maybe clothesline him over the rope or dive on him. And then Dom's gonna be on the rope because he was sitting there for a moment and he's looking around like, oh. So he hits the frog splash and wins the Intercontinental title. And everyone's like, are you kidding me? And that's what needs to happen. It'll be hilarious. You can have weeks of Braun Breaker chasing him like it's the 24/7 title. That's what you can have. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Like, you see the next night on Raw, Finn Balor's there and he looks disheveled and pissed because of course. And then Dominic's got the title and everyone's happy. And then Braun just runs in and ruins him. The whole thing. And then the rest of the show is like cat and mouse running, trying to get away from this man who's going to kill you.
It's just a Tom and Jerry episode.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Honestly, we should talk to R-Truth on how to make this look good because, like, he's had a lot of experience running from people.
R-Truth's going to get confused thinking it is the 24/7 title, and he's going to start going after Dom, too.
He pinned...
He finds Dom in the Judgment Den and just rolls him up.
Yeah,
like, why is nobody counting?
He's like, bro, I thought I won. This needs to happen. I need this now. It'd be so funny.
Here's the thing. If this does happen, we're going to look like geniuses.
We are geniuses. If that happens, like, oh my gosh, like that's the best.
You know, there's writers positions available from WWE on Indeed.
Yeah. I don't want to move to Connecticut.
No qualifications.
I don't want to move to Connecticut.
I have no qualifications, but maybe.
Not only do I now actually I can move to Connecticut if they're paying me enough to live there, I guess. Because
if I'm being a writer, Otis is winning gold like in 6 months.
You still got to get your ideas greenlit. And you can't just start with that. You got to like...
That's how Kory does his interview is, all right, here's the story of how Otis wins the title. Next.
Yes.
When there's been... You know what Freddie Prinze Jr. is?
Yeah,
the actor.
He was the guy in the Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah. So he was a writer for WWE for like 6 months. And when he applied for the job, they were like, all right, well, we want 3 months of TV written. So he wrote 3 months of television about like Jeff Hardy getting from this story to this to eventually becoming like a world champion and all this stuff. And they were like, that's really good stuff. And he's like, yeah. But yeah, so you would have to prep like by writing like 3 months of television in advance. I don't have the patience for that. You got to like start with a cool idea and work your way back.
Otis retires Goldberg at Mania.
Oh my God.
You know?
Continue.
Button. Can we kick people from
I can.
Option.
Stop it.
And that's all I got. We go from there. Otis retires Goldberg. He deserves a championship match.
The moment you say Otis in your interview, you're getting sent away.
I need Akira Tozawa to win the Intercontinental title. I need Maxine Dupree.
All of Alpha Academy's walking out of Mania with gold, like the Judgment Day did last year. It's going to be the exact same thing. We're standing at the top of the ramp. Everybody's holding up championship belts.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, hey.
this could have been you, Chad Gable. You could have been there for this.
So the other thing that's going to
See,
happen,
That's interesting.
the other thing that's going to happen on Raw is Raw will be in Chad Gable's hometown. Chad
Oh,
Gable
yeah.
technically has a doctor's note and is sick. So he won't be there. I'm like, oh man.
He can disprove all these people wrong by having in his hometown Chad Gable versus El Grande Americano.
So El Grande Americano is going to wrestle the match that Chad Gable was going to have. And Chad Gable's very upset. So, oh no. We're going to find out real quick it's Julius Creed. I'm telling you. It's so obvious. So obvious.
Dude, I was re-listening to last week's podcast, getting annoyed at how stupid that was.
I
Getting re-annoyed.
the person sent me that and I was like, dude, like, you're looking at like his rib cage and his muscles, and I'm like, you look like half the roster if you're doing that. You know what I mean? What are you doing? I'm like, did you ever consider how tall they were? Like, so obvious. It was so obvious. Also, it was Chad Gable from the moves. Like, how could you? It's like when
Julius Creed has obviously just been trained by Chad Gable so long they adopted the same moveset.
yeah, and are now the same height. So weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
Hey, Julius was just wrestling on his knees the whole time. We just didn't notice.
Great camera work.
That's so stupid. So stupid. All right. Well, so yeah, so that covers Raw, that covers SmackDown. This is anything else you guys want to talk about?
Stephanie Vaquer vacated the Women's North American Championship
You know,
after a one defense. So why not just have her vacate it?
I thought when I think they did this with Keith Lee as well. And at that point, I was like, that's stupid. Why would you do that? And I'm going to contradict myself here. I think in this instance, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I only say that because, as they said on NXT, there are so many talented women in NXT that deserve an opportunity and deserve to have that title. Now, you could just have Stephanie do everything twice, every single night. But the thing about Stephanie Vaquer that really works is she's not overexposed. Right? If all of her moves that she does are just kind of like normal, or just like you see them like twice every single show, or even every single show, they're going to start meaning less. They have a star who kind of has like this weird, mysterious aura to her a little bit. Don't ruin it. It makes sense. Let her be the champion. Let someone else carry the U.S. title. Jada Parker, I think, would probably be she's going for the NXT Women's Championship, but I think Jada Parker is like perfect for it at this moment. But there's so many women that could do it.
Because of Julia getting hurt, they don't want to risk their other top babyface getting hurt, so having her wrestle twice every week is very dangerous.
I don't know if twice a week is dangerous. There's so many
twice a night. Twice a night.
No. See that
That's what I meant by twice every week.
Yeah.
You have her having her do 2 matches in the same night every week is a little on the dangerous side, especially when they're doing house shows already on top of it.
Yep. And I think
having her vacate it, we'll get another banger of a ladder match. I didn't finish NXT. Who qualified?
I don't know. I didn't catch it.
Okay, I'll look it up.
I was working crazy hours this week, so I don't know.
Fair enough.
But
I'm trying to think of anything else noteworthy happening. Have you guys watched any of LFG?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, there was a clip from LFG this week, and essentially Gunther called out the Undertaker on his coaching style.
What?
One of the Undertaker's students, Gunther was interacting with, and he looked over at the Undertaker, was like, "Why does she not realize that she's a killer yet?" what are you doing wrong in your coaching where she doesn't know this yet?
Did he really say that?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
something along those lines. And at first, you can see Undertaker's face like twinge, and then he like relaxes because he realizes that Gunther's right.
Mm.
Man, imagine if we could have had Taker versus Gunther like 15 years ago.
Gunther should have ended the streak. I would have been okay with that. Bro, Brock Lesnar ended the Undertaker streak. You could have had so many better options.
Bray Wyatt
not
should have
just-
done it.
Bray.
Right. Well, yeah, of like people from that time. But if like Gunther was around,
Right, but he wasn't.
yeah, I understand that. But like,
I was just
you
anger
literally
match.
said,
Taker's
you literally
prime.
said, imagine if we would have had Undertaker versus Gunther.
I didn't
if
say
that
that.
match happened.
I didn't say that.
I
Didn't say
said
you
that.
did,
I was
you as a
just saying
general.
that would have been a banger match.
Well, don't say you in general. I didn't do it. In general. Jerk. I didn't do it.
Just a joke. Just a
Nah.
joke.
Should have been Bray.
100%. 100%. And they kind of tried to shoehorn Roman in there too, and they were like, he beat him too. After it didn't matter anymore.
Still would have made sense for it to like, if Roman would have been the first one to beat him instead of Brock. Like I guess I would have been
Yeah.
less offended with that.
Nope,
was
nope,
Brock.
nope, no. Roman, nope, nope, nope. Roman was you.
People would have.
I know-
WWE down.
I know you quit watching wrestling during that time,
In
but I
hindsight-
promise
in
you,
hindsight,
but I promise you, the crowd would have hated him longer. Like that was not good. So, I mean, even when he did beat the Undertaker, next week on Raw he comes out and they're just boo the crap out of him, and then the only thing he gets to say is, "This is my
This
yard
is
now."
my yard.
Yes. And I was like, "That's a heel move, bro. You're supposed to be the good guy." Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
He's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's just
the guy. Yeah. Oh my God, so awful.
Mid 2010s Roman was so bad. Thank God for the one
It's-
good thing to come out of the pandemic was the tribal chief.
It's not even that he was bad. It's he was booked awful. Like he wasn't booked to his strengths. You know what I mean? That was the whole problem. If you just go back and watch really early NXT with him, and he's kind of like he's just kind of I can't say that word. It's PG. He's just kind of like a really arrogant heel. Like that works. Look at him. You know?
Yeah.
You're no one's gonna beat up Roman Reigns enough that you're gonna go, oh man, he's getting hurt. Yeah, he's 6'5" and looks like a freaking like Poseidon. You know, he's freaking Aquaman over here. No one's gonna go, oh, poor Aquaman. We're like, no, you're not getting sympathy on that guy. Triple H beat the crap out of him in Detroit, and the crowd was like, yeah. Yeah, I was there. I was also, I didn't like Triple H either at the time, but also I was like, yeah, violence. You know, whatever. Because, yeah, why not?
One of the YouTube channels I watch is doing this series where it's like they call it worst match ever.
Oh,
They're
no.
going through and watching really bad wrestling, and they're in a WrestleMania series, so they just watched Roman versus Triple H
That match
from
wasn't.
WrestleMania 32.
That match wasn't bad. The crowd just crapped on it.
It was it is bad. It is boring.
It's
They
boring.
do
but
everything twice, and it doesn't work either time.
it's boring because the crowd is dead, and they're just not there. They're just not there. If the crowd like cared about either of them, that match would have been great. The match can be awful and like, but the crowd can make it. I mean, go look at The Rock and Hulk Hogan. That match was mediocre at best, but the crowd was nuts. Made that match crazy.
Yeah, I've seen people say like if you watch Rock versus Hogan on mute, it's not a good match.
It isn't. Have you done it? It's not. It's not a good match at all. But then again, I think that any match you watch that's got no noise, it's probably not going to be good because it's nothing to draw you in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you go watch the Jimmy Uso and Gunther segment where Jimmy Uso slapped the taste out of Gunther's mouth, it's going to mean less if you can't hear it because you didn't hear that slap. You know what I mean? So I think that's just important.
One time he's gonna kill you. I think we learned our lesson. Don't slap Gunther.
yeah. I don't think we learned our lesson. I think Jey Uso needs to slap him first thing. That match needs to be so violent. Like,
There's got to be bread. There's got to be red.
Did you say there's got to be bread?
Red.
Got to make him a sandwich.
I think I was going to say blood and red at the same time, and I said bread.
There's got to be bread.
There's got to be bread.
I need a T-shirt that says "There's got to be bread." It's got to have Gunther like this, about to slap the bread or something. That's so stupid. All right, guys. Well, listen. Hey, an hour is not bad for a podcast. I'm gonna call it. Let's get out of here. Let's go. I got a bunch of work to do, and I got to make a quesadilla. I'm so hungry.
Yeah. Thor's kind
I'm
of
gonna go
losing
get
his track
Chipotle.
here, so I should probably let him out.
Yeah. You say you're gonna get Chipotle?
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. I made food
Bring
at
me some.
home, and I just have so much
No.
extra.
Oh.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for coming by. This has been fun. I hate you both.